Hello, and welcome to a tutorial on a 4-room flipper in Minecraft. Right away, if you've seen any of my other videos, you've definitely noticed something different. I'm using my voice. This is the first time I've recorded my voice on this channel because I felt like it would be better for a tutorial like this one. Of course, let me know what you think of me using my voice in videos and whether or not I should continue in the comments. Anyways, we'll be using the create mod for this, so make sure you have that installed, otherwise this won't work. The link for that will be in the description. For those of you who don't know, the Create mod is basically a steampunky redstone overhaul that adds a lot of new mechanics to the game. All that aside, let's get into the tutorial. Alright, so before I get started on this tutorial, I want to apologize for my mouse and keyboard noises in the background. I'm still trying to work on noise suppression for my videos. Anyways, so you want to start off by digging a decent sized hole. This is where the rooms are going to rotate into, because you don't want it breaking the ground. Of course, this doesn't apply if you're building it higher in the sky, but if you're building it around ground level-ish, you're going to want to dig a decent hole for that. Of course, you can make yours larger or smaller. It depends on the size of the room. This is just going to be the size of one room when it's rotated down. Next, we're going to build the part that actually rotates the rooms. Now, we're going to place the mechanical bearing. This will be the pivot point of your rotating rooms, and you're going to want to position it based on the width of your room. Mine in this example is 5 wide, so I'm going to want to position it in the center of that, 2 down, and we'll have 2 more blocks. You can't see where this is going. We're going to have it pivoting like this. The rooms are going to be on top like this, the size of the platform we made before, and this is going to rotate around, and it's going to move this size room in front of it so it lines up with the platform. You can get rid of everything else, but I'm going to be keeping this little frame for where it's going to be pivoting on, because it can still be used. So you're going to want to get yourself some glue, and you're going to want to glue all of these blocks to there. So you're not going to need to glue it to that, it already has the glue on it, but you are going to need to glue the rest of the blocks to the previous blocks. You can do this easily by putting the glue in your offhand, and then you can just build up the spinning part of the rooms without having to glue the sides of each one. Alright, now we're going to want to place in the gear shift and then the clutch behind it. Now you're going to want to have a way of powering this. For you guys, if you're doing this in a survival world, or you just don't like using the creative motor, you can just build up any way of powering it via like windmill, for an example. And then you're going to want to use a rotational speed converter and set the speed to 12, connected to wherever you're powering it from. But in this example, I'm just going to be using a creative motor just because it's easy enough. And as you can see, it's already spinning. For now, we're just going to stop it by powering the clutch. You don't need to do this, it just makes it easier. And we're going to work on controlling that. So you're going to want to get yourself a button. It doesn't matter what button you actually, yes it does. You're going to want to use the buttons of the stone variant. If you want to use a wood button, you're going to have to adjust the timings on the repeaters that are coming up. However, if you don't know anything about what you're doing with redstone, I would just leave it as a stone button. I placed 2 of these buttons. One's going to be changing the direction of it, and the other is going to be actually rotating the rooms. So you're going to want to get yourself a redstone link. These basically send redstone wirelessly. In this tutorial, I'm going to be using redstone links to make this all more compact. You're going to want to place one behind the first button and one behind the other button. When you activate the button, we'll activate those, and then wherever you place the other one, it will send a signal to it. Of course, that's not all you have to do with these. You're going to want to set a frequency for it. You can do this with any combination of blocks. I could use white concrete and a clutch. This means if I place another redstone link, it won't receive a signal unless it's the same combination of items that are in there. Of course, you don't have to use 2 items. You can always just set one, like one white concrete in the top and one white concrete in the other. And that will do the exact same thing. What you're going to want to make sure you're doing with the redstone links is making sure the top one, which is being powered, that's going to be sending the signal. So this one, you're going to want to crouch and right click, and that will make it a receiver. You can tell by the little white circle around it. And then when the top one gets powered, the bottom one will also get powered. And it doesn't really matter where you position the other one. I could place it all the way down here, set it as a receiver, and power this one, and that one will get powered as well. I'm going to be setting this button as the rotation direction button, and this button is going to be controlling when it's rotating. Of course, you can swap them. It really doesn't matter. I just like it that way. On the redstone link behind the button that you want to be controlling if it's rotating, you'll just set a combination. Doesn't really matter what it is. I'm just going to set it as 2 white concrete. Then you're going to take it down here, somewhere a little behind there. You don't want it to get too in the way. You're going to want to set it to the same combination to the one you have up there. And you're going to want to build a pulse extender. In this example, I'm going to be making a customizable pulse extender, which I made in a previous video. Of course, you don't have to watch it. It's quite simple, but if you really don't understand what you're doing, you might want to give it a watch. Basically, what happens here is the signal, wherever it's coming from, goes in through the left line of redstone first. It goes into the powered latch and switches it on. And then the signal goes through these adjustable repeaters, which will take a moment, and then it'll power the latch and turn it back off after a certain amount of time. Now, coming out of the receiver, which I should right click to make it a receiver, you're going to want to have a line of redstone coming out like that, going into a powered latch, or actually I'm going to want to make this go the other way so it's closer to the rest of it. Alright, you're going to want to make the redstone dust coming out like that. You're going to want to have a adjustable repeater set to a 1 second delay. You're going to want to have it going into a block. Doesn't matter what block it is, as long as it can send a signal through and reach more redstone components. You're going to want to set another repeater here on a 7-tick delay, and you're going to want to put a powered latch there. Next, you're going to want to unpower the clutch just for now, and you're going to want to place a block here, the torch on it, so it's powering the clutch again, and you're going to want to take a redstone signal off of the latch, make sure it's coming out of that end, and you're just going to power the block that the redstone torch is on. And if we activate this, things should start spinning. You just stop that. Now, if you press the button that you set the rotation to, it should start rotating until it reaches the next side. Press it again, it would rotate to the next side. If you want it to be a little smoother, you can always adjust the timings on these, as long as it just rotates to the next floor. Now we're going to construct the device that will choose which direction it's rotating. So you're going to want to set the link frequency of whatever is behind the button you want to control the rotation, and you're going to want to place the link with that same frequency. Make sure it's set as a receiver. Oops. Make sure it's set as a receiver, and then place a powered toggle latch coming out of it. Make sure this is a powered toggle latch and not a powered latch. They work very differently. And now, if we rotate it, it should rotate clockwise. And then if we activate this and then rotate it, it should rotate counterclockwise. And should change every time you press that first button, or whatever it's set to for you. Now you can actually build the rooms. I'm not going to construct all the rooms in this video, but now if we rotate the room, platform rotates with it. If we rotate it back, the platform stays with it. Now, you're a little limited to what you can actually put in the room. For example, beds. If you try to rotate them, it will break. You can see there's glue attached to the bed. If I rotate it, when it rotates, the bed breaks. But there are plenty of blocks you can still keep on it, so you're not too limited. But let's say you wanted to build a nether portal. You can move all the blocks of the nether portal, but when it's lit, the portal breaks. Now, something before I show you how to build it, you're going to want to know this. When you actually try to rotate obsidian in the create mod, it actually rotates, as opposed to when you try to move it with a piston. If you look at my inventory, this is all the stuff you're going to need to build a nether portal that lights when it rotates. What you're going to want to do is put the glue in your offhand, actually construct the nether portal, and make sure the corners are on the nether portal, because if the corners weren't there, the thing wouldn't actually be attached to the rest of the nether portal. Of course, if you're only missing one corner, it's fine, because the rest of the corners are still there. Now we're going to build the device that actually lights the portal. What you're going to want to do is place an observer, or place glue on the nether portal where you're going to place the observer. Place an observer facing down, then place glue on the back of that, and place a dispenser facing inwards towards the portal. Now you can just open up the dispenser and fill it full of anything that light the portal, fire charges, or flint and steel in this case. And now when you actually rotate the portal, if you've done everything correctly, rotate it back, it should light when it reaches the point you want it to. All I have for you for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed, and let me know what you think of me using my voice in these videos. Have a nice day.